What up, foodie friends? This is Fritz the Foodie coming in. My name is Fritz, and today we're going to talk about episode 4. Woo! Good news about food. And today is focusing on South Sudan. I am realizing now that all of these numbers are backwards, but that's okay. We will work on that later. So, just to give you an idea here. Basically, this is what you need to focus on. The land area is 2 to a 4, 4 to an 8, and then 3 sevens. So that's the land area of South Sudan. And basically, Africa in general has been starving, apparently, for a long time. And we need to fix that. So I was like, all right. So on October 9th, at around 3:12 a.m., I just got up and I was like, I feel something. So I went to check out, because I was like, Fritz, you smoke all this weed, you drink all this beer, and you claim to do so much, and yet your main focus, which is ending world hunger, is seemingly, kind of put to the side. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to focus on that for the next, 10 minutes. So about an hour later, I'm realizing that I've just completely flooded South Sudan. Here's how that happened. I was looking at just the news of South Sudan, and it said that there had been 6 years of droughts. Then I went on another website and it said 5 years of droughts, 1 flood. And I was like, well, depending on how we were to use the credibility of the provided network of information, we should be able to actually be able to find out where and when this flood happened. So then I went on the news, and it was ABC News, some guy called David. And he basically gave me this look, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. So next thing I know, I'm watching him, and this is just on my phone while I'm sitting in bed, right? And I'm watching this news guy, David, go to South Sudan, get out of the plane, and I knew that it was it was just like a minute later. So we were building something, and with that small amount of truth, I just crept in, and we just managed to completely flood the place. Flooded it. And from what I can guesstimate, we dumped about 40 cubic miles. 40 cubic miles of water. So that's kind of what that looks like. I don't know if you can see that. Now that is a pretty rough guesstimation. I'm thinking that, based off of the images that I saw, it's about, let's say about 2 feet of water for about 3 sevenths of the country, which I think is a pretty good estimate, which is about 168.5 trillion liters of water, and I double checked this with ChatGPT. So artificial intelligence has double checked these numbers. So anyway, if you want to get kind of an idea of how much that is worth, well, if I were to buy a gallon for $5 and there were 44.5 trillion gallons, that would be more than double the complete global GDP, according to Elon Musk. And however, moving forward, in Thailand, you can get 5 liters of water for 40 baht. By the way, a Thai coin looks like this. Got a little amber in front. goes, actually. Boom. So this is 5 baht. So, anyway. Now, what's kind of interesting is that when I did the calculations and I tried to figure out how much beef that was worth, it turned out to be 17 million cows worth of water. And I was like, so you're telling me that from one reckoning, it's twice the global economy, and from another reckoning, it's only 7 million cows worth of meat. And I'm like, okay, that's somewhere to start. So anyway, by the way, also a gallon is a form of wizarding currency. It's called a gold galleon, and is used in Britain. 1 galleon was worth 17 sickles, which is an old Asterix and Obelix joke. It's kind of Roman. So, moving on. Sudan now has enough water to probably feed all of Africa. And what is important about that statement is that, one, it is true, and then two, Africa is actually on kind of a higher playing field. I was able to say all of these things in less than like 7 minutes, but also it's worth noticing that the South Sudanese pound, the SSP, is the currency of South Sudan. So we're going to need to figure out how much that's worth, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to other good news about food and fun food facts, because there's got to be one fun food fact I'm going to have to draw from off the top of my head. Let's talk about milk. So I don't know if you knew this, but milk actually has, and cheese specifically, it has a large amount of a sort of oxytocin adjacent substance that basically can make you addicted to the milk. Now the story behind that is that cows would walk too far away from their mothers, and by doing so there was this fear that they would get eaten. So, what the mothers did is they gradually, over, of course, millions of years, evolved to the point where they could have this oxytocin in adjacent substance in their breast milk. And what that allows them to do is make sure that the calf in the beginning is like slightly addicted to the mother, in the way that the mother is providing a very wonderful meal, and the calf is not going too far from the mother, because it also, it's a calf and needs to learn like stuff, and it needs to be around for that stuff. So, it's a bit of a win-win. However, as we have use that milk to create cheeses, and have used those cheeses to create like Roquefort, I have to wonder, like, somewhere along the way, I think we might be slightly abusing this pattern of nature that naturally occurs. So I think it is important to kind of differentiate that and focus on the cannabis plant and the tobacco plant and alcohol if you're going to pick your top 3. Because really, once you get triple crossed, like, it's very thin chemistry. You're going to save a lot of money if you want to get messed up. Anyway, point is, keep the hardcore drugs out of food. I've brought this up before, but like, for reals, peeps, it's going to get interesting someday. And we're not going to be able to really tell whether it's drugs or whether we're having a wonderful experience with our food. And so that's why I'm trying to kind of put that little bookmark in and just say, hey, we should probably check this out at some later point, just to make sure that this is food we're tasting and not just some crazy drunken wizard's hallucination about what food might taste like. So, moving on. We are now at about 10 minutes. I'm gonna keep this video at 11 minutes because why not? So in the meantime, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. This is some of my artwork. It's one of my favorites. This is some artist guy inside of an artist guy. It's like also my screensaver. This is from Mehdi, shout out Mehdi from Berlin. This is some art from Doug Rhodes, shout out Dark Rhodes from San Francisco. This is from Austin, Texas, shout out Austin, Texas. Hong Kong, shout out Hong Kong. And then this, that's a project that is, I think, someone else's project. That is the two AIs that lord over all. So, yeah, they say that there are aliens. There definitely are. Peace out, guys. This is Fritz the Foodie with good news about food.